Hello, Kevin Mowrer here. I wanted to show you the setup for grinding the face on a whole lot of gears that I was able to pick up on eBay that came in a pretty reasonable state, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But the front faces of the gears were in various states of either slight rust or medium rust. And after cleaning off what I could, I've actually set up this grinding arrangement here on the little watchmaker's lathe that I have, and I'm using a number of the tools that I've already built in the process. Over here on this side, hope you can get a good look at that, is the heavy-duty cross slide that is actually featured elsewhere on my site. There's also an adapter plate that you can see here that's being used to mount the grinding spindle vertically. And in addition, there's also the PTO that comes off of the counter shaft here that also has the 3-axis adjustable head. You can see one of the axes there, right, the radial axes. And that's also being used to get this set up and actually get power to the grinding head. Really quite easy to do with this particular setup, because that adjusts in 3 different angles. And in this case, you can actually see where I've slid. I'm going to move over to this side, so apologize for the movement. I've actually slid the locking carriage down so that I could get the vertical height in order to mount this and get the proper attack angle for that belt, because the grinding head actually has to move up and down. Now the other piece that I'm using here is also the external chuck bearing, and there is no chuck for it to bear on at the moment. I'm literally only using it because of its nice ability to actually hold and carry a piece of acetate, a sheet of acetate cut to whatever size you want, and it keeps all that dust and that mess and that the tiny little particles that are so bad for your lathe, especially if it's one of these watchmakers lathes, because these have the hard bearings. They're not ball bearings, so it's not replaceable. You'd have to get a whole new headstock, because the seats and the actual spindle itself are ground to such close tolerances. You don't want any tiny little particles getting in and messing that up. So using nothing more than a few magnets, rare earth magnets, I was able to take another few pieces of acetate and create quite a nifty little enclosure here, and be able to keep the rest of that dust from flying all over the place. And off the back side of it, then, I don't know if you can see it there, you can actually see the end of a vacuum hose that has just been temporarily clapped into place. That'll also help to draw off all of that dust and nastiness. And sitting at the center of this is the custom collet that's been made, and I'll show you a bit about that a little bit later. Actually, we'll be posting that in just a bit as well. But a gentleman wrote in and said he really wanted to see this adjustable setup for the PTO in action, so here it is. I've actually got a Shoreline motor running this, and that's just a fantastic little motor. It is variable speed, and of course I have the pinch rollers here, as you can see them functioning. And also I had adapted the hand wheel from an antique sewing machine, which adds some real momentum, and steadiness, frankly, to the cutting process. Makes it a bit more efficient, and the lathe doesn't stop nearly as often, unless I'm taking way too heavy a cut. So there it is, and then you can see that as that grinding head were to move up and down, and we were to crank it here, that because of the stretchiness of the belting, it just follows right along very, very nicely. And you've got these rotating in 2 opposite directions, those are about to contact. And I don't want to film while I'm grinding, because I need to put my attention to the actual grind itself, and of course the bed is actually covered by just a paper towel. So that's the setup, and I'll show you the results here in just a few minutes.